Welcome, everybody. The topic for the day is all about managerial communication. It is the crux of on the basis of which an organization operates smoothly. Communication is the key. So we will talk about the next 15-20 minutes. We'll talk about these 5 points: communication, the importance, the purpose, what exactly is managerial communication, and the various types that we're looking into of communication is concerned. So again, I retort, there are 5 things that will cover it out. We'll have a definition of communication, the importance, the purpose, the managerial communication per se, and the types of communication goes around it. So what exactly is communication? This is one of my wonderful things as to why a human being, an individual communicates. Because of these reasons that I find out, people don't get along because they fear each other. Yes, most importantly, we have an apprehension of the other person. So people don't get along because they fear each other. Why do people fear each other? People fear each other because they don't know each other. Definitely, yes, because all of us are unidentified. We are not comfortable with each other. As a result, we don't speak. But remember, in the family where everybody is known to us, despite we are in a blood relatives, we open up and we are relaxed, we are comfortable. Why? Because we know each one of them. But in an informal setup, in an let's say in a subway, we are moving around it, people don't talk. Why? Because they fear each other. The reason they fear each other is because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. So understand the word called communication. This is the word that we are talking to all of you. We don't get along because we, at the end of the day, it is people don't get along because they don't communicate with each other. And in between, why do they fear? Why don't know each others? And why don't they communicate as such as the reasons? This will utter the importance of why communication vital. So let us understand the meaning. Communication is passing information from one to another. That's it. I am not going into the senders, receivers, coding, encoding, decoding, and so on and so forth. It's a simple process of passing information. Remember, I use the word information. That means it can be a physical gesture. It need not be a verbal gesture. And even if it is a verbal gesture, probably I'm speaking in Latin and you are speaking in some other universities altogether. So you do not know what is to be done in other languages. People are speaking different languages and they are not aware of it. So how do they communicate? The idea is to pass information, nothing else beyond that. So definitions: communication is interchange of thoughts, opinions, information by speech and writing. This is what we are looking at it. We don't do anything beyond this. So it's an interchange of thoughts, interchange of opinions, interchange of information by speech, or science. So look at it. I've just got this thing from the parts to give you an elaborate example. Look how surprised the expression is all about it. How happy the expression is all about it. How awful the expression is all about it. What are it's the content material that comes around it. So we'll talk about the things time and again out here. So, importance of communication. Communication skill constitutes an important aspects of effective management. Communication skills constitute. Remember, what is it? If you do not, if you do not possess the requisite skills, probably you will not get your things done. Some important functions of managing are forecasting, planning, organizing, instructing, coordinating, and controlling. This is of vital importance, which you need to go around it. So, we'll talk about communication is a system by which these operations are led, coordinated, and the results are given. This is what we are looking into it. So, we have an origin and we have a finish line. This is in between. In between, can how do we go around it? That is what the medium is all about it. The information has to flow from one direction. It's the way around it, and there has to be a communication feedback loop to be given. So we need to focus the information, plan the information, organize the information, instruct the information, coordinate the information, and probably control the information so that they should not understand anything else altogether. So we'll talk about the purpose of communication. Communication to inform. Why do we talk about? Why do we speak? Why do we do it? Because we need to inform them of certain know-how. Let's say the scientific writings, the journals that comes around it. It's about a little bit of an invention, or if not an invention, it's all about innovation. If or not about innovation, it is all about discovery. So basically telling it to you, the focus is on the subject. Remember, that is all about it. Next best thing to communicate is to persuade people, to bring them to your side, to understand, make them understand what you are trying to say, and pull in their support. What are the example is been advertisement, as in your product or services being the best. So managerial communication, as in what exactly is managerial communication? Look at the pictorial representation. It is all about telling something, instructing something, passing information, something which is vital to the operation of the organization first place. So managerial communication is a function by which manager, remember, manager communicates with all its employees. Now they can plan the day, they can plan the operation, they can maneuver the strategies only with the help of communication. So that needs to be done. And people, if you need to understand this, a manager cannot do on its own. He or she has to have his or her teammates to follow or the instruction upon it. So there has to be an ambivalent difference between the managers and the employees. So managerial communication helps, remember, it helps to smooth the flow of information among the managers working towards a small goal. Now this is very vital. Why? Because this information, at times this passing of information can be verbal, depends upon the culture, can be written. Again, it is all the ethos of the company that needs to be followed around it, which needs to be documented, and so on and so forth. Remember, nowadays everything has been documented. In fact, everything is been closely watching CCTV or closed circuit television cameras that we are looking into it. So we are working towards a common goal, and there means no duplications. There is absolutely no duplication of work which needs to be carried forward. Previous slide. So there might not be any direct communication from this gentleman or this board of directors to these people altogether, but definitely there is a flow of information as we have done it, and there is an exclusivity of flow of information is out there. There is an exclusivity of flow of information out here. Now this needs to be carried forward. This goes around it time and around. They might not be indirectly, they are basically indirectly communicating, but within the span of the organization, and that is organizational communication is all about it. Remember not to forget this thing. This is of vital. We'll talk about the interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is a process by which people exchanges altogether. Now, this is we not to go around it, and the meaning through verbal and non-verbal message. This is very important as far as interpersonal communication is stated. We have to mark this word. We need to understand it is between two people wherein there's an exchange of feelings, information, and meanings through either verbal, non-verbal. When I say non-verbal, it can be gestures, it can be written also. So wherein in a face-to-face communication, interpersonal communication is not just about what is being said, what language is being utilized, but the non-verbal messages through voices and facial expression. So probably what is important out here is the tone word, the word tone, how you are saying the word. Actually, you might be saying, do you think I love you? That means I am angry. So other way to say this thing, do you think I love you? Probably I'm giving you a question and keeping you guessing altogether. It's the point of tone that needs to be understood. My dear friend, you need to understand this interpersonal at very grassroots level. Now let us come to the organizational communication, the formal communication efforts of the organization planned. Remember, this is all about being planned and being formal things. Services. typically produces communication professional. This is what is to be known as out here. We will be talking about it. Then comes the group communication that occurs within, among, and across teams or a particular unit that we look into it. The leaders and supervisors, verbal communications and behaviors that communicates, that needs to be understood, dissected, and again. So at the end of it, what we do about the communication conclusion, remember, it is the blood. Did I say in the very beginning? It is the backbone of the flexibility of the organization, the accessibility, the success story of the organization is all about communication. Even for human life to live with a better understanding of each other, without it, what? Without communication, it is impossible to run business. Communication brings business form, or it gives, or it activates, or should I say it brings life to the business. So to run a business well, have to have a clear understanding how does it operate, and the clear expectation of what the role and the duties are all about it. We need to communicate time and again. I come to an end of this particular presentation. Thank you for watching this video.